Tuesday, the Senate took the first step toward passing the CHIPS Act for America, a bipartisan package that will lower cost for families at home and reignite America's preeminence in the world.
Yeah, if Nancy Pelosi can keep Democrats in line, you can expect a big party at the White House next week for the signing of the CHIPS Act. The Senate finally agreed to something, namely spending $52 billion of your money that we don't have to subsidize the biggest and most profitable computer chip makers in the world. They already make a lot of money. $52 billion package boosts semiconductor manufacturing in the U.S., subsidize companies to expand or build new manufacturing facilities here. Department of Commerce is going to determine which companies receive funding, more than $10 billion allocated to semiconductor research. Bernie Sanders calls it corporate welfare. And experts say it's like most government programs, which spend a lot of money and are very unlikely to achieve its stated goals. In this case, bringing chip manufacturing back to the United States, thus protecting our intellectual property and supply chains from China. This from Morris Chang, who started the most successful semiconductor manufacturer in the world. Here's his quote. If you want to reestablish a complete semiconductor supply chain in the U.S., you will not find it as a possible task. That's pretty clear. There are a lot of reasons that he's likely right. But Nancy Pelosi loves this idea. She sent out a press release yesterday celebrating the Senate passage, promising a quick vote in the House. But that wasn't the real reason perhaps she was popping the champagne. Turns out her husband bought millions in call options of the chip maker NVIDIA about a year ago. Those are fancy and speculative ways on betting a stock will go up significantly. It comes as no surprise his purchase came just slightly before word leaked out that the CHIPS bill, the billions of dollars in handouts, would become a thing. He now claims he sold some of the stock for a loss. We can say the same because it's unclear exactly how much he made on the trades before or how much of the stock he still owns because of disclosure laws. Dan O'Donnell wishes he had such great stock picking ability. Otherwise, he would not be having to spend the afternoon with us. It just proves everything that's terrible about Washington.
Yes, it absolutely does. Paul Pelosi turns out to be the absolute best trader since Hillary Clinton made all that money in cattle futures all those years ago. Clearly, Leland, he was operating on some sort of knowledge that the average investor wouldn't have. For someone outside of government who's not married to the Speaker of the House, we call that sort of thing insider trading. So now, just before the bill gets final passage, he dumps some of the stock at a loss to say, hey, look, this isn't something that I'm going to make a ton of money on. Well, we don't know how much stock he still has that he purchased. And let's face it, Leland, this is not the first time Paul Pelosi has made some incredible trades just before the government took action that would benefit the stocks that he picked.
Yeah, you think about Pelosi's holdings, Amazon up to $25 million, Apple up to $25 million, Google up to $5 million, Comcast up $5 million. No surprise that she believes, well, this is a free and fair market.
Yeah, of course she does. I'm going to take you back to December of 2020 when her husband purchased a whole lot of Tesla stock. Now, a lot of people were buying Tesla stock. It was a stock that was going up significantly. But this came just about a month before the Biden administration announced that it was going to transition the government's fleet entirely to electric vehicles, obviously benefiting a company like Tesla. March 2021, he invests in Microsoft about 12, 13 days before Microsoft gets a lucrative government contract. The price of the stock goes up 11% in a matter of days. I mean, the return on investment here is just remarkable in such a quick amount of time.
What's really stunning, Dan, is that you don't believe that the charity in your heart cannot come to believe that some people just have these magical powers that you, I, and the rest of the world don't. I mean, it's almost like you're jealous. What I thought was really interesting about this bill, put aside for a second the idea of the insider trading in Congress, because that's never going to get fixed for obvious reasons. But you've got this CHIPS bill, $50+ billion, that's not going to fix the problem. And oddly enough, the person who's ringing the alarm bells about that is, of all people, Bernie Sanders. Take a listen.
But the question that we should be asking is this: should American taxpayers provide the microchip industry with a blank check of over $76 billion at the same exact time when semiconductor companies are making tens of billions of dollars in profits.
Is this ever going to get fixed of Congress working for us rather than for themselves?
The idea of getting away from corporate welfare because there's a powerful lobbying organization behind the chip makers and anyone else who gets favorable congressional action? No, rather obviously not. And Senator Sanders, I can't believe I'm saying this, is absolutely right, especially on the same day that America teeters into a recession with a second straight quarter of negative growth. We're talking about spending $50 billion on an industry that is doing just fine. Can you imagine, Leland?
Hey, look, yeah, we know it's doing just fine.
Chips.
We know it's doing just fine because Nancy Pelosi's husband's investing in it. We got to run, but thank you very much. It's always good to see you.
Absolutely, Leland. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.